Hello. It's LaShanda Henry here, aka Sister Sense, checking in with you all lovely, awesome entrepreneurs today so that I can share a few smart things that you need to be doing right now. This is an accountability check-in. Yes! You know, it's so important for you to not only be a highly driven entrepreneur, but be a self-motivated entrepreneur, one who knows how to get things done. So I am excited to check in and make sure that you are staying on top of your goals. Hey, Levon, welcome, my dear. I'm about to share some good with you. Now, if you feel like this is something that somebody in your circle needs to hear, you feel free to tag them, feel free to share this session for today. And of course, if you're watching the replays, always remember to drop into the comment box, #replaysrock. All right, so let me get on my my notes. I have my water, I got my Wi-Fi. I'm good to go with you guys today. I'm actually really excited about doing this accountability session with you all because the month is almost over, and it's always a good thing to make sure that you're doing what you need to do to finish 1 month strong and start the next month even stronger. Hey, welcome. So I'm going to talk to you about some accountability things that you guys need to be working on. And this is actually inspired by what I call the A-Team. Y'all remember the A-Team with Mr. T? Well, this is a different type of A-Team. For me, it's all about accountability. So I want to make sure that I can share with you the accountability circle that I have as part of my mastermind. And I'm not sure if you're in the mastermind, but I wanted to make sure that at least twice a month, we can check in via live calls, and I can make sure that you're staying on top of what you need to do. So if you're not in the mastermind, just a side note before we get started, if you go to sistersense.com/A-Team, A-T-E-A-M, you can sign up for 1 year, 365 days inside of my mastermind plus accountability circle. This is what this particular web class is all about. I kind of want to take you inside of the mastermind so we can do an accountability session here live. But of course, if you're interested, you can get 1 year inside of the mastermind. Go to sistersense.com/A-Team for more details. Okay. So let me dive in. The first thing that I want to talk to you about today is there are different types of goals that you should consistently be working on, and I break those down inside of the accountability circle. One of those is your personal goals. So as we talk about your personal goals, first I want to share with you 3 personal goals that I've been really digging into that you should be digging into too, and then I'm going to dive into some of those other personal goal conversations that you should be thinking about, okay? Now, here are my personal goals. Number 1, I'm big on the big R, repurpose. So I'm always proactively looking for new ways in which I can repurpose and diversify my content without having to overextend myself and try to do things that are not within my area of expertise. That being said, the first personal goal for me is to make sure to create opportunities for people to consume my content in different ways, okay? So I'm going to share these with you because Mama's super proud of these right here. I'm a digital girl. I create a lot of digital content online, MP3s, PDFs, you name it, MP4s, I do it, right? But in that space, over the last few years, I've been saying to myself, you know what, LaShanda, you love to write. Where are your books? Where are your physical products? Make it happen. And so I'm going to share with you some of my good here. It all started with the starter guide here, 20-page Start Her Up guide. And then I kind of started expanding. I call these easy ebooks because I don't know if you've ever found yourself in a space where you go, I want to write, but I just don't have the time to write. I decided to create content that I could put together in a way that made sense for me. So 20-page, 30-page, even sometimes 36, close to 40-page documents that I could put together in a matter of hours or 2 to 3 days, something that was realistic based on my schedule. Can anybody identify with wanting to create content, but you know, sometimes you got the funky face, you know, you're not quite feeling right, you don't want to do it, you're looking at what everybody else does, and you're like, oh my God, she came out with a 300-page book, I don't got time for that. That was your girl right here. But I really wanted to create more physical products. So I started off with the starter guide. I then moved into the easy booklets. All of these, in addition to making them, I created templates for them so I could teach the ladies in my circle to do that. Last year, I knocked out these three right here. The New Normal Workbook, the Simple Sales Workbook, and then the Easy LPP Workbook, right? And I was like, yay! And then this year, I knocked out the Positioned to Profit Planner as well as the Money Magnet Workbook. So I'm knocking these out. Listen, because I want to make sure that when it comes to digital products, ladies can consume my content in the form of MP3s and videos, but also in physical material too. So the first thing that I want to talk to you about your accountability goals, especially for those of you out there who, like myself, are coaches or mentors, is make sure that your content is created in such a way that people can consume it in different experiences, especially for those of you who are coaches or mentors. If you feel like you're overstretched and the only way you can teach and reach people is you being on, whether it be you speaking and talking to them in front of a stage, or you working with people one-on-one, you want to make sure there's a way for you to create opportunities for people to learn from you in smaller bites. So accountability check-in for me when it comes to personal goals. How are you diversifying your content? Number one, okay? By the way, this one right here, let me show you. So excited. Okay, so this one right here is the Money Magnet, one of the workbooks that I put together this year. And I'm going to show you this Money Magnet template is actually the template that I shared last night. I had a virtual workshop on how to create easy ebooks. I don't know if you had an opportunity to see that virtual, but the replays are online. And if you go to sistersense.com/CCA, which stands for Content, Clarity, Accountability, you can get the link to get the replays for this easy ebook content creation session, because I am big on making sure that outside of you putting your content in the form of courses or in the form of audios or videos, you're creating tangible products that people can download or even print out to really take advantage of what you've got. So I've been really excited about being in a space where I can create these smaller book with full of information and also worksheets that people can access, okay? So I want you to think about for yourself, number one, are you creating opportunities for people to consume your content in different ways? Number two, I want you to think about, are you creating opportunities for people to have the kind of experiences they want with you? That's a big one, okay? So some people want to be able to work with you one-on-one, but other people are looking for certain really important things that they're missing in their life. So today, when you're checking in as far as accountability is concerned, I want you to think about the people who you're engaged with and what are some things that they're telling you or that you're seeing, right? Whether they are verbally saying it or you're seeing it, that these are things that they really, really, really need in their life. So for me, one of the reasons why I said, you know what, LaShanda, you need to go back to the A team, you need to do accountability, is because a lot of people were checking in and saying, I've got all these things that I'm trying to do, but nothing feels ready. Do you ever feel like that? You know, I'm trying to do all these things. I got all my hands in all these pots, but nothing feels ready. Nothing feels good enough. I'm not quite there yet. I feel like I'm behind. And I want to be in a space where I can help motivate people to not just kind of push to get better, but push to put the stuff out there. Because a lot of you are good at either watching trainings like this one or consuming content for yourself to push yourself to get better, but pushing yourself to put your stuff out there, now that's a whole other level. So understanding what are some things that your customers and client base are looking for right now is really, really, really important. That inspired me to, number one, work on creating the accountability circle. So every 2 weeks, I'm not only just doing my mastermind, but I'm doing accountability calls every month. And you can actually sign up right now for 1 year of the mastermind plus accountability circle for $97. $97 for 365 days fire starter experience. A team accountability circle at sistersense.com/A team. So I understand that, number one, a lot of ladies in my circle need a little bit more handhold. They need to get on a call and check in and make sure that they're doing what they need to do. I also understand, number two, that some people want to be in a space where they can physically touch you. Like, well, I think there was a phone commercial that was like, reach out and touch someone, right? So I've been in a space where I've done, I think so far this summer, 2 Girl Boss live workshops here in North Carolina, 2 virtual workshops here as well, and I am working on what I like to call a Saturday with Sister Sense. These are going to be one-day workshops here in Greenville. So I'm thinking about and working on proactively, here are some things that I know the ladies in my circle are looking for, and this is what I need to do as far as the next thing, right? So when it comes to your personal goals, you got to think about for yourself 3 things. What you wanted to do then for me being at the beginning of the month. Every month is a fresh start, right? So what did you want to do then? What do you want to do now? Reflecting on where you are. Maybe some things have changed. Maybe your energy has changed. And then next, what's supposed to be coming up in the pipeline? So then, now, and next, really important. Feel free to drop that in the comment box. For those of you participating live or watching the replay, when it comes to your personal goals, those are important. So then, now, and next is one part of the conversation, but the bigger part for me when it comes to you really being attentive to your customers is, as I mentioned before, number one, diversifying your offers, making sure that you're very clear about giving people different ways to consume your content, right? Number two, creating opportunities to work with your customers based on the kind of stuff they're telling you that they want. So for me, being in a space where ladies were like, listen, LaShanda, I really need you to help me with consistency, the accountability circle. Being in a space where there were ladies in my circle who said, I need you to help me with productivity. I made a stop procrastinating challenge. Being in a space where ladies said, oh my gosh, I want to just play in your backyard. Literally, I need to come to North Carolina to see you and hang out with you. The Girl Boss Saturday workshops. So thinking about how I can create offers to really connect and really make sure that I'm meeting the goals and the needs of my customer base is so important. So I want you to think about that as well. Now, one of the things that's totally awesome is that I don't normally do live streams, but I remember one day being on my phone and then all of a sudden I got a notification, and I think it was Quanisha. I don't know if she's still in the mix right now, but she was like, oh, April shouted you out. April Franks Hunt, the creator of Coach Peak and Serve, and she was talking about creating low price point offers and being strategic when you're selling online, and she was like, LaShonda's awesome at that. You know, she's really good at audio. I love to create audio content, more so than video, as you can tell. And that for me is a way to give people an opportunity to check in with me consistently. So when you go to sistersense.com/CCA, which stands for Content, Clarity, and Accountability, one of the things that you'll see there is the audio, because every time I send out a message to my community, I always love to put an audio in there so I can share, this is what's going on right now, and these are the ways that you can work with me. You want to make sure that, number 3, you're giving people an opportunity to work with you based on their level and not your pocketbook. What does that mean? Sometimes you're in a space as an entrepreneur where you're like, it's all or nothing. This is what I got for you. You buy it at this level. If you can't afford it, kick rocks and keep it moving. That happens, you know, sometimes, real talk, you're in a space where you're like, I'm tired of people taking advantage of me, or you're in a space where you're like, listen, I need to bring in some more money. So you're very stringent and locked into certain things. But the reality is, if you really want to accommodate and work with a larger customer base, you've got to be in a space where you meet your customers where they are. So for me, for example, when you go to sistersense.com/CCA, you'll see that I'm talking about 3 things: content, clarity, and accountability. Because I know that, number 1, my clients need different things right now. I work with different types of people. Some people need to work on digital products. Some people need some clarity. They don't know where they need to go next. And some people need hand-holding, support, accountability on a weekly, if not monthly basis, right? So being in a space where you are aware of the fact that you've got different people who want to work with you, Keisha's raising her hand right now, is so important. but also making sure that you have opportunities for people to work with you based on where they are. So one of the things that I've been working on this past month is the Girl Boss Weekend Workshop here in North Carolina. I've had ladies fly in, ladies drive in, ladies, do what they need to do to come out locally and also across the states. But guess what? There are some people who they couldn't come out. Maybe it was a budget issue or they're international and it was like, man, I would love to be here, but I couldn't. So outside of doing a 3-day live workshop here in North Carolina, the following week, which was this past weekend, I did a virtual workshop so that the ladies who are international in my circle or were like, listen, I would love to do a workshop with you for a couple of $100, but that's not in my budget, but I can do a workshop with you for $40 or $50. They participated in the virtual yesterday. So thinking about for yourself, are you giving people an opportunity to meet you, not based on your pocketbook, but meet you where they are based on what they need and what they can afford within their budget is really, really important. So 3 things I wanted to share with you. First, when it comes to personal goals, are you creating opportunities for people to consume your content in different formats versus working with you one-on-one, digital content, or in the case of the workbooks and things that I've shared with you today, physical content. I have like a ton of workbooks that I've been working on over the last couple of years. And by the way, write this down, guys. If you want to, where's the one that I want to share with you? I've got all this stuff. And then all of a sudden it was like super, super, super bright. And then it was like the rain came down. So I've got all this stuff around me. But hold on. This one in particular, my Money Magnet workbook, this one in particular, the template that I used to make this one, because I create templates, is also one that I give you when you are a part of the Easy Ebook e-courses workshop that I did yesterday. So if you go to sistasense.com/CCA, one of the things that you'll see is the Girl Boss virtual workshop, and you can get these replays if you want to create some of this content for yourself, okay? Because I'm big on helping you create digital products. I know that's something that a lot of ladies in my circle want right now. They want to create more digital products. But you've got to be in a space where you create content that is not only digital, but printable too. So the Easy eBooks is something that you can produce and then share and also print. One of my favorite platforms for self-publishing is MagCloud, MagCloud.com. So when I create templates and when I share my templates, I do so in such a way that ladies can not only create them and have them as PDFs people can download, but then they can go to MagCloud and upload that and print those for themselves. So I'm really, really big on being in a space where I can help you create content in different formats. Again, the virtual workshop that I did yesterday was on Easy eBooks plus e-courses, a content creation session. We had so much fun. The replays are already online if you want to dig in and get the content creation template, which will help you create this one here. Actually, you know what? I'm going to open it so I can show you what it looks like inside. When you do the Easy eBooks e-courses, that workshop, I show you how to create your cover and your back cover and also the inside as well. In my books, the inside has a purple border. Depending upon your brand color, I show you how to switch that out and create a border that best reflects your brand, because making sure that your content is reflective of your brand is so important. Thank you, Keisha, for dropping that in there. It's go to sistasense.com/CCA, which again stands for Content, Clarity, and Accountability. The Girl Boss virtual workshop, the one that I did, I share with you how to create your own Easy eBooks. It's a content creation session. And then, of course, how to put your pages together. So there are actually, I'm going to be honest with you, there are 3 different templates in that workshop that you get access to. Plus, you get to download the virtual audio of the Money Magnet series. So there's a lot of good in there. You want to make sure that you get those replays before they go away. So let's continue this conversation around personal accountability, because one of the things that I do as far as the accountability circle is I share with you some things that you really need to be thinking about with respect to your business. So the first thing that I want to touch on, now that I've talked about some of my own personal accountability goals, and now I'm diving into yours, the first thing that I want you to think about is what are some things that you need to do before the month ends. Okay, this month is almost over. So think about a few things that you go, oh my gosh, before this month is over, I need to get this done stat. I'm going to share a few examples, so hopefully that can spark some ideas for you. Of course, number one, if you're watching the replays, remember to drop in the comment box, #replaysrock. And number two, as I talk to you guys live, make sure that as I'm reflecting on these questions, you're taking this opportunity not just to make note of them, but also feel free to drop it into the comment box too. So for me, one of the things that I love to do is repurpose, as I said at the beginning of this session, and I have quite a few live stream sessions that I've done here on Facebook over the last few weeks. So making sure that before the month is over, I have those downloaded videos and I upload them to YouTube so that my followers can watch the replays there. Very, very important. Number two, one of the things I love to do is to repurpose these videos and make them into audios, because I do have a podcast, the Success Podcast series, at itunes.sistersense.com. So I'll sit in my office. I will open the video in my favorite video editor, which is Camtasia Studio, and then I will export the video into an MP3 audio so I can upload it to iTunes. That's a good way to make sure that some people can watch the video live, some people can watch the video on YouTube if they're not on Facebook. Not everybody likes Facebook. And then some people can just listen to the audio version on my iTunes channel. When it comes to accountability, as I mentioned to you before, I'm very big on making sure that people can consume your content in different ways. So you've got to think about some things that you need to do before the month is over. I always try to upload at least 2 to 3 episodes of my podcast just before we go into the new month, because that's when my subscription reactivates. So I try to make sure that I'm making the most of that, because I have a separate hosting company, Libsyn, that I use when it comes to updating my podcast. Now, accountability check-in, reality check, that's really important. What are some companies, what are some platforms, what are some programs that you're spending money on and not using? I want to make sure that I'm making the most of the things that I'm investing into. So for example, while podcasting is one thing that I do, it's kind of at the bottom of my totem pole for me, honestly. But I make sure at least by the ending of the month, I upload to iTunes, because I want to make sure that if I'm paying for hosting, I might as well be using it. So think about, number one, what are some things that you say, I absolutely have to do this thing before the month is over? And number two, inside of that conversation, what are some things that you've invested in financially for your business that maybe you're not using as much as you should? And you've got to put some sort of reminder or clock or follow-up in there to get proactive about using those things on a regular basis. I got to say that it's pouring. It is pouring rain right now in my little cul-de-sac, but I'm loving it. I'm loving the breeze. I don't know, something about rain is like relaxing and calming and all that good. So I'm on the porch, so I'm nice and dry, so I can deal with that. But let's talk about some things that you go, man, before the month is over, I got to make sure that I do ... Okay, so drop those into the comment box, feel free. And as I go through this list, I want you to be able to share those things with me. As I mentioned to you before, yesterday I had a live virtual workshop for the weekend on content creation. So I shared with the ladies how to create easy ebooks using my template. Then we also had a social media graphic session, and I shared with them how to create some awesome content, because one of my favorite quotes is, a Sunday well spent brings a week full of content. So making sure that you're really strategic and intentional with your Sunday. It's kind of why I wanted to do the virtual conference on a Sunday, so we could work on creating actual material. So one of the things that the ladies did yesterday was get started with their own easy ebook, which could be anywhere between 10 to 20 to 30 pages, depending upon how much content you want to write in there. And I shared with you before, the easy ebook is built on this template that I used to create this one right here. So if you were not able to participate in yesterday's workshop on how to create your easy ebook plus e-courses, make sure you go to sistersense.com/CCA for content clarity and accountability to grab those replays while you still can, because it's all about the Girl Boss webinars, and I want to make sure that you have access to those if you need them. Now, the next thing that I want to talk to you guys about as far as accountability is concerned is you maximizing your Monday morning magic. one of the things I talk about when it comes to cash flow goals, because I'm transitioning. First, I talked about as far as accountability, personal goals. Now I want to talk to you about cash flow goals. And when it comes to you being strategic in your business, there are different types of goals that you need to consistently be taking a look at. And I talk about those every 2 weeks as part of the accountability circle inside the mastermind. Now, when it comes to your cash flow goals, you want to make sure that you're strategic and intentional as far as two things. Starting off your mornings right, making sure that you've got content that you can strategically share and sell to your client base, especially on Monday. You want to make sure that you're tapping into your Monday money. So I want to share with you some smart things that you need to consider when it comes to your cash flow goals and your Monday money, to be specifically, your Monday money and your morning magic. So I have an acronym that I'm going to share with you, and it's FIO, okay? FIO stands for freaking irresistible offer, okay? When it comes to you strategically sharing and selling to your community, not only do you want to make sure that your offers are diversified, but you want to make sure that you are creating FIOs, freaking irresistible offers. And if you're watching me live or via the replays, drop that into the comment box. FIO, freaking irresistible offers. Now, I'm going to share with you as a consumer 3 FIOs that I invested in the last couple of weeks. Well, one of them I didn't, but I loved, and I was like, wow, this is crazy. I'm going to share with you 3 FIOs and then talk about how you can think about creating these for yourself. So, this first one that I'm going to share with you is from the mommy in me. I love to go to Old Navy, especially at this time of year, because just before school starts again, I go and get all the uniforms, the shirts and the pants and the things that I need for my kid at Old Navy. They normally do like uniform khaki pants for $10 and polo shirts for $5. So all of a sudden, my mom says to me, you need to go to Old Navy this weekend. They're doing polo shirts for $3. I don't know if any of the mommies saw that, but I was like hoofing it over there, okay? It was a freaking irresistible offer. Not only do they, and normally, let's say this, normally their pants are $20 and the polo shirts are $10. But when it comes to this point of the year, they sometimes do the polo shirts for $5. And hey Don, welcome. And so this year, they decided to step up their game. Not only could you get the polo shirts at $5, you could get them for $3. And they did that over the course of a 3-day, like a flash sale weekend. That is a freaking irresistible offer, because every mommy, not only here in North Carolina, but also my mom and my aunt was calling me from Florida, every single state, we were in Old Navy making sure that we could get this uniform clothes, especially if you're trying to get it on a budget, right? So for me as a consumer, that was a freaking irresistible offer. You need to think about some things that your customers, your clients, they consistently want, whether it's an annual thing, like back to school, that's when we're buying our uniforms, our lunch boxes, everything you need, right? Yes, Keisha, you need an FIO, freaking irresistible offer. Thank you for dropping that into the comment box, my dear. You want to be proactive about thinking about how you are not only consuming FIOs, but how you can create those for your customer base. So that's one example. I'm a visual girl. I'm going to share 3 examples with you before I move into the accountability space of helping you think about some FIOs that you can potentially create for your community. So hopefully you guys can hear me pretty clearly, because I mean, it's crazy. I came out here to do my webinar with you all, and it was nice and sunny, so sunny. I said to my son, I need you to give me a stack of napkins, because I'm going to be out here sweating like nobody's business. And then maybe 5 minutes into the webinar, it's like pouring rain right now. I'm like, oh my God. But I like the breeze. So hopefully you guys can hear me, because I feel like I'm running competition with this rain right now. Thank God I'm underneath the porch and I'm nice and dry. Side note, I don't know about where you live, but where I live, we tend to get these crazy rain spurts where it's like shh for like 5 minutes, and then it's like the sun is out. So I'm praying that it's one of those things and that the rain will start to subside, because it feels like it's starting to. But anyway, going back to the FIOs, this one I did not invest into because I don't have a little baby, but this one I think broke the internet. So one of the companies that I'm sure you may be familiar with, Build-A-Bear, they had the genius idea to say, listen, you can get a beer and pay your age. So in multiple states, folks were going crazy. Malls had lines out the door and around the corner. People were protesting. Crazy people, why do you have your toddlers out in the middle of the summer heat to get a Build-A-Bear for $2? But it was a freaking irresistible offer. A lot of people were like, oh my gosh, Build-A-Bears are amazing. My kids love them. They're expensive. I can get a Build-A-Bear for my kid today, and I can get it at a reduced rate, pay your age. Yes! And they went crazy. Of course, Build-A-Bear had to come back and apologize for the chaos they created with that promotion. But the reality is it was a freaking irresistible offer. Every person with a 1-year-old, 2-year-old, 5-year-old, 6-year-old was like, we about to rack up today. So you want to think about for yourself, what are some FIOs that you saw recently? And for those of you participating live or even via the replay, feel free to think about that. Something that you went, oh my gosh, I have to get this. And even though you necessarily didn't plan on getting it at that point, you jumped on it because it was just that amazing. Last month, one of my favorite platforms, Animoto. I don't know if you're familiar with Animoto, so let me say this. It's a web platform where you can create these awesome videos using video clips and music and photos and making it work. For a lot of my clients who are not as technically inclined as they would like to be, I always send them over to Animoto because I'm like, it's so cool. You can make these really nice videos and you can do so relatively quickly. Now, side note, if you're curious, you can go to sistasense.com. That's me, SISTASENSE. sistasense.com/Animoto, ANIMOTO, if you'd like to sign up through me. But anyway, I already had an Animoto account. I've been with them for maybe 6 or 7 years. I've been with them for a long time. They sent an email and they said, we've got this new level of Animoto and it's $30 for the whole year. I went berserk. So I created another account because I wanted to see what that $30 1-year account was all about. And it's really cool. So I get to use both of them, my premium account when I need to, and then this $30 account for 1 year. It was just a no-brainer, right? That for me is what an FIO is all about. Something that's really irresistible, something that you really, really want, and getting it is just a no-brainer. So first thing I want you to do is, especially for those of you participating live, take a minute to think about, because I got to drink some water. Take a minute to think about maybe as a consumer an FIO that you recently invested in, right? Yes, right? The regular and the premium. You got to make sure you get a little bit of all the good. And then I want to talk to you about, as an entrepreneur, creating FIOs in your business. Now, keep in mind that these are some of the things that you should be working on right now. And this is an accountability opportunity, because one of the things that I recently created inside of my mastermind is the A-Team Accountability Circle. Truth be told, I actually started the A-Team several years ago and then I phased it out, and I'm bringing it back in because a lot of ladies in my circle are like, I really need an extra level of accountability. So every 2 weeks we are on accountability calls. We did the last one on Thursday, and I want to make sure that I can give you a kind of experience of what it's like to be in the accountability circle, so I can talk to you about different things that you need to be checking up on and making sure you're doing in your business. Now, if you're interested and you're not in my mastermind, you can get access to the accountability circle and the mastermind at the beginner level for 1 year for $97. You need to just go to sistasense.com/A-Team so that you can learn more about the mastermind at the beginner circle and register for 1 year. 1 year. You can tell I need some water right now. 1 year, 365 days. And that's going to give you access to my beginner level mastermind, plus the bi-weekly accountability calls that I do. I've got to post the replay of our Thursday call. It was really, really good, and I'm going to be posting that replay up today. And I want to make sure that as I'm sharing these different opportunities with you, I can actually do these things with you via the live. Okay, so think about an FIO that you've recently invested in. Feel free to drop that into the comment box. I will drink some water and then jump back into our session. Woo! The rain is subsiding. Hopefully the sun doesn't come back out and burn the hell out of me. But we'll see. So long as I have my water and my Wi-Fi, I'm good. Okay. Woo! Now, when it comes to FIOs, freaking irresistible offers, you've got to reflect on those things that you feel like people in your circle really need and things that people are really asking you for. So I gave you the example of the Old Navy polo shirts for $3. The reality is that every mama, sister, girl out there who needs some polo uniform shirts for their kids this time of the year, just before back to school starts, was all up and around Old Navy, whether they were online or driving to the store. And I think I went there like twice. And then my mom was calling me and my aunt was calling me. She was like, "You need me to pick up anything?" And I was like, "They have no red ones. Get me as many red ones as you can get me." Kind of like Black Friday when folks are like, ah! Right? But that's what happens, right? You got to think about for your circle, what are some things that people in your target audience really, really, really need? Keisha says, "I am working on my FIO today. I love the pay your age idea." Yes, the pay your age was was crazy. It was absolutely crazy. Now, here's a side note for you before I even go back into how you can brainstorm FIOs for yourself. Number one, the platform that I use for my store that I absolutely love is Sells. Does anybody else use Sells? Hey, Dion, welcome, my dear. How are you? If you do not use Sells and you want to get familiar with it, you can actually do a freaking awesome 14-day trial. Go to sistersense.com Sells, SELZ .sistersense.com to get that 14-day trial from yours truly. SELZ for sells.sistersense.com. The reason why I'm sharing is because, number one, that's the platform that I use as the main store on the Sister Sense website. And number two, when you add an offer, because you can sell physical products, digital products, and services, one of the things that you can do is to click the little button when you add an offer that does a pay what you want. So you can give people the opportunity to pay whatever they want for that product. And I've used that before, and you can use that strategically. So if you're looking for a way to come up with an FIO similar to the Build-A-Bear, where people can pay what they want or pay their age, that's a cool thing. That's a cool feature that you have on the Sells platform. I don't know, again, how many of you use it, or if you've ever tried to use something like that on your store where you give people the opportunity to pay what they want. So you can say, pay me, starting from $1, whatever you want, or $3, whatever you want, especially if you're sitting there trying to figure out how much are they willing to pay for this. You can test out the pay what you want offer and see, because some people will just pay the bare minimum, and to your surprise, honestly, other people will pay more because they go, "Oh my gosh, you deserve more for this. This is so awesome." And they'll pay depending upon what they want, which is basically what that feature is about. Now, that's a side note, but I certainly wanted to slide it in because Keisha was like, "I'm working on my FIO today." By the way, me sharing with you some of my favorite resources and things that you can do to really rev up your online business goals, that's one of the things that I love to do in the accountability calls. So again, if you're not a part of my mastermind and you would like to be, plus you would like to get access to these bi-weekly live accountability sessions, make sure this week, within the next couple of days, not next week, because this $97 for 1 year offer is going to go away. Make sure that you join the A-Team Accountability Circle, and you can do so at sistersense.com/A-Team. When you go there, be clear. If it's not there, don't get mad at me, because opportunities do expire, okay? And for me, this is an FIO, because there are a lot of ladies in my circle that really need extra accountability. So being in a space where I can give you access to me, live sessions every single month, bi-weekly for $97 for the whole year, that's a freaking irresistible offer. So it's not something that's going to be around forever, kind of like the Build-A-Bear. The Build-A-Bear pay your age. That lasted all of a few hours before they realized the chaos had begun. So when it comes to your FIOs, think about what you love as a consumer. Think about some of those things that you recently jumped on and were like, "Oh my gosh, I can't resist this." You want to create that same kind of vibe and feeling in your audience. That's number one. Number two, I want you to think about your community. Listen, look. What are some things that you're going, "Man, People really want that. They really need that. They desperately, urgently are looking for that. And start to work in FIOs, your particular offers that relate to that. Okay? So it's interesting that one of the reasons why I said, you know what, I'm going to do a workshop. I'm going to do a live workshop here in North Carolina, is because I love hands-on activities, and I love to help people start and finish things. For me, there's nothing like the feeling of accomplishment, which is funny because one of my booklets, where is it? One of my booklets is called Do Something and Feel Accomplished. There's nothing like feeling like a job well done, right? There's one thing to have a lot of great ideas and start something, but finishing something, that's that accountability piece that a lot of people are missing. And you can raise your hand and be honest with that. Maybe you are great at ideas, or maybe you're great at just the first step of putting the idea out there. But when it comes to the completion, that's where you struggle. Now, for me, I really feel tap myself on the back because I have a lot of stuff that I have to do. And so for me to be able to sit here and say, okay, this year, in spite of me, for the first 3 months of the year, I was in recuperation. My neck, my back, my shoulder. I couldn't even sleep right. I mean, 3, 4 o'clock. No, not 3, 4. More like 2, 3. Because it was a certain time in the morning, 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, I would wake up in tears. I don't know if it was neuropathy, nerve damage. I mean, I did a lot to work through it, but I had to power through it, and I was in a lot of pain. There were days that I didn't do anything. I just laid on my couch. I was like, girl, are you depressed? I realized that my health issues created depression-like issues, but I say that to say there are times when our bodies or our lives just straight throw us off course. So to be in a space where I can say, listen, when the spring hit, I sprang back into action. I made my position to profit planner, which I absolutely love. Should I share with you this page? I don't know if I should share this page with you. I got on the money map example page. Okay, you can screenshot it if you want to. It's a pretty cool page. But this is the money map. And I'm talking about morning money and you doing some smart things that you need to do. Well, get the planner, but if you want a screenshot, I don't know how to put it in there in a way that you could see the whole page. Donna's like, yeah, girl. Being in a space where I could not only start these and say, oh, I wanted to create a book or a workbook, but finish them, print them, publish them, profit from them. That's a huge, huge, huge accomplishment. And I know that for a lot of ladies in my circle, maybe they're doing live streams or blogging, but they don't have content. Some of my clients have said to me, LaShanda, I've been online for years. I haven't created stuff that I actually sell yet. Or I don't have stuff that I feel confident enough to sell yet. That for me said, LaShanda, you need to create the content creation challenge. And that was one of the biggest things that I did. Keisha said, health issues will disable you, but I agree. You have to power through. Absolutely. Absolutely. You have to find a way. I always say you can find a way or you can find an excuse. You can't do both, right? So for me, I was super, super excited about not just creating these pieces of content for myself, because each of these, by the way, are different workbooks. Again, this is the new normal. This is easy LPP. This one is turned backwards. The money magnet series. This one is the simple sales system. This one is position to profit. This one is my 5-step starter guide. This one is the do something feel accomplished booklet. These, by the way, are all templates because I teach people how to use these templates and I give you access to these templates in my trainings. The reality is, in order for me to be able to do that, I had to be able to find a way to start and finish. That's number one. But number two, more importantly, when I was looking around and listening, I was hearing clients say to me, LaShanda, I need that too. I want to have a store like you. I want to have all of these digital products in there. I want to have my own information empire. So number one, for the majority of the, so so much purple goodness. You know I love my power purple. For the majority of the year, I've been focused on teaching people how to create content in one way, shape, or form. As a matter of fact, last night I did the Easy Ebook, Easy E-Course virtual training. The replays are already online because I know some of my girls looking for the replays. So they're online waiting for you. But if you don't have access to it, when you go to sistersense.com/CCA for content, clarity, accountability, when you go to sistersense.com/CCA, number one, you can sign up for the Girl Boss workshop, virtual workshop replays, so you can learn how to create your own easy ebooks too, from start to finish. Whether it be a few hours or a day or two, I want to make sure, because I want to be your accountability business bestie, that you're not only coming up with great ideas, but you're finishing them start to finish, okay? And in that process, you're doing what I shared with you here. You're coming up with FIOs, freaking irresistible offers. So I love that Dawn is here because Dawn is in Virginia. And one of the things that I talked about before, on what platform do you do your virtual workshops? Oh, awesome. So for me, I work virtually via the platform Start Meeting. You call in, you watch the screen, you talk to me, and that's how it works. Start Meeting is a great platform, and if you are looking to create your own virtual workshops, you may want to consider that as a great platform for you to tap into. I've used lots of different platforms, GoToMeeting and beyond. I've spent hundreds of dollars on super expensive ones, and I'm going to be honest with you, you can use Start Meeting for maybe somewhere between $20 or under $20. It's a nominal fee, but it's a really good resource. I'm good at giving out great resources on a budget, and for me, that's a good one. You're going to be able to do your recordings, to save your recordings, and use your recordings without having to spend hundreds of dollars on a monthly basis. And when it comes to accountability and cash flow goals, because we're talking about your cash flow goals, you definitely have to be on top of the money that you're bringing in, but also the money that you're putting out. So if you're putting out a lot of money in some of these platforms and you're spending hundreds of dollars and you're not making thousands of dollars, you need to think smarter and you need to not work harder. So, side note, if you were just curious just to know if you are interested in being a part of my virtual workshops, I use Start Meeting, but if you're looking for something, that might be something you want to utilize. So make sure that you're inside of the accountability circle. If you're not already, you can sign up at sistersense.com/a-team to get 1 year, 365 days inside of the mastermind plus accountability circle. Now, going back to, as I mentioned before, for me, the big thing here is making sure that you can create quality content and quickly. So if that's something that you need to and would like to do outside of the virtual, there are also in-person opportunities that I have to work with you. And I mentioned I love the fact that Dawn is here because she came out to the first Girl Boss workshop that I had, and I did the second one about a week ago, and I said, okay, that's it. No more 3-day workshops until next year, because planning these live events is a lot of work. But then a few of my local ladies came out and they were like, man, we need to meet up in Greenville. So I was like, okay, let me see what I can do. And then I am excited to announce that I'm going to be doing my first Sister Sense Saturday session. So a Saturday with Sister Sense, that's coming up on the 18th of next month. And it's funny to see Dawn because she was checking in with me. She's like, I'm ready. I want the details. I want to be there, right? And I do have ladies in my circle who, whether they be in Atlanta or here in North Carolina or Virginia, not very far away, can drive in and come out and spend a Saturday with Sister Sense. So full day workshops, activities. I have this beautiful marketplace that we're going to be having so much fun at. And I'm going to put up all the details because I know you're looking for it, Dawn. By the way, if you're curious or interested in a Saturday with Sister Sense here in Greenville, North Carolina, feel free to email sistersense@gmail.com and I'll let you be one of the first people to get that invite and invitation as soon as it's online. But I share that to say this. You want to think about what your clients and customers are telling you they want. And for me, while I normally do a lot of stuff virtually, it's been a surprise, but a good surprise to do 2 in-person events here in North Carolina over the course of the last 2 months, and maybe continue to do more in-person events here in Greenville, North Carolina. You never know. As far as the 3 days, I'm not doing another one of those until next year, but I may start doing regular Saturday with Sister Sense sessions, because I do have ladies who are local to me in Raleigh and Virginia and even in Greenville and other parts of North Carolina where they would be interested in coming out and having a good time. So side note, email sistersense@gmail.com if you'd be interested in doing something like that. But that's me. That's my branding. What about you? What are some things that you know your customers and clients are really looking for, really interested in? That's going to help you start to frame out and put together some freaking irresistible offers. So start from the consumer side, identify some FIOs that you have invested into, ask yourself the question, why? Why did I buy? And then start to figure out how you can create that kind of FIO experience for your customer base. For me, a good place to begin with that also is really just kind of digging in and listening to what your customer base is asking you, what they're needing. And in my case, a lot of ladies are missing content. So really focus on smart ways to teach people how to create content. That's been a big part of my year. And then also, to my surprise, taking it a step further and doing more in-person events. That's something that I'm working on too. Now, accountability circle, flipping it back to you. What are you going to work on? So take this opportunity, number one, to share out this live stream if you feel like somebody else in your circle needs to hear it, because sharing is caring. But also take this opportunity to drop in the comment box your accountability projects, your accountability tasks based on what I've been talking about today. So what are some things that you, number one, say, I need to do this before the year is over? Don says, fire, Saturdays with Sister Sense. Yes, sistersense@gmail.com. Thank you for dropping that email in there. I can't wait to see you again, Don. Super, super excited about a Saturday with Sister Sense. So I'm definitely looking forward to sharing all those details. But back to you guys. What are some things that you say before the month is over? Number one, I got to do this. Number two, what are some things that you say, okay, I need to really get better at? Maybe it's productivity, maybe it's accountability. So if you want to be a part of the accountability circle for 1 year for $97, make sure that you go to sistersense.com/a-team so you can register, because that opportunity is going to go away. It's only for a few days. I had a young lady who I actually have to mental note remind myself I have to send her back a voice message, because she said, listen, I can do this on the first of the month. Are you going to have it up there? And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to have it up there by the first of the month, but it is going to go away because it is a time sensitive opportunity. So what are some things that you are going to do before the month is over? What are some opportunities you're going to create for your community as the new month begins? So for me, Saturdays with Sister Sense is a new opportunity that I'm going to be releasing. The Easy eBooks e-course is something that I did yesterday, and the replays are online. What's going away? What's coming next? These are all questions that you need to be asking yourself, so you're really being proactive about your accountability goals. I have some more for you. Chew on those questions first. Drop some of your responses into the box right here, and then we'll keep it moving. Don says accountability projects equals workbooks. Yes. So I'm super excited to have Don here. If I could, I would share. Well, actually, when you go to register for the Girl Boss Workshop, you'll see some examples of some of the ebook covers that the ladies did as part of the Girl Boss Workshop. And one of those examples is the beautiful Flourish group that I put up there of Dawn's. And we did 21 questions you should ask yourself before getting a leadership strategist. Did I say it right? Please make sure, Dawn, you put your brand in there correctly, just in case I said it wrong, or the title of the ebook that we worked on together. But I'm super excited about helping ladies work on their ebooks, their workbooks, and using the templates to do that as part of my mastermind and virtual workshop experience. Yes, the Girl Boss Saturday was awesome. Thank you so much for joining us virtually, Mentor Shelly. Shelly is in Florida, and I tell you, I'm really, really thinking about maybe doing a meetup in Florida. So, and I know I'm going to say that, and you're going to email me and be like, listen, don't play with me. But I'm going on vacation I'm going to be in Florida at the end of the week for about a week and a half. Flourishleadership.com. And I just might do a meetup in Florida. Who knows? So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't want to disappoint, but I've been kind of thinking about maybe. I don't know how many ladies in my circle are in Florida, so we'll see. We'll see. Before the month is over, I will create at least 2. I saw someone say something. Oh, what did I do? I touched the screen and then I changed things all wonky. Keisha says, before the month is over, I will create at least 2 digital workbooks and plan out my FIO. Okay, awesome. Guys, can you still see me right? Because I hit something on the screen and the screen looks all different for me. I'm like, whoa. But I hope you can still see me. I don't know. You let me know. Hey, Shonda. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. So I've got a few private clients that I'm going to be connecting with when I go to Orlando. I don't know if I'll do something in Fort Lauderdale, but I'll try. I'll try, Shelly. I'll try. I love that some of you guys are able to either meet me in person, but of course, more importantly, check in virtually. And as I mentioned before, I do have the accountability circle. So make sure that if you want that extra dose, you go to sistersense.com/a-team if you're not already in the mastermind, so that for 1 year you can be in the accountability circle and I can share with you some awesome things you can do to stay on top of your productivity goals, plus your content creation effort. So for those of you who are like, I'm going to work on my FIOs, creating great ideas is one thing, finishing the products and selling them, a whole other ball game. So I want to make sure that you can not only start but complete. That's what we do inside of the Firestarter Circle. To get 1 year access, you can go to sistersense.com/a-team so that you can join the mastermind as well as get our bi-weekly accountability live calls. So welcome for those of you who are just checking in. This is basically an accountability experience. So I have an opportunity to share with you some of the things that I talk about and do with the ladies in my mastermind. Now, here's the deal. When it comes to you being in a space where you work on your cash flow goals, there are some things that you need to be doing consistently and intentionally. I'm sideways now. I'm sideways now. It says you're sideways now, but that's okay. Let's see. What would I do to change my orientation? I don't want to be sideways. Is everybody seeing me sideways? How would I fix that? I don't even know. I touched the screen. This is why you should not touch the screen, LaShanda. Guys, can you see me sideways? Or am I straight? I'm sideways, yes. How do you change your orientation on this thing? Okay. Did that change it? Did that change it? Did that change it? What is that? Hey, y'all. We're going to have a random session here. Now, for some reason, the blonde in me thinks that moving my head like this is going to change the... It's going to change the orientation. So you guys, you can see me the right way, or am I still sideways? Do what you just did again. This? That fixed it? When I did this... Dodd is laughing at me. When I did this, it changed it? Yes. So now you're seeing me wide length. So, okay, my replays is going to look all kinds of funky. Still sideways with a crooked... Why you making fun of me, Dot? Okay. So, because I want to make sure that my replays is right. See, now the rain is stopping, but the sweat is coming. Okay, so now you back, girl. Now you back. My old behind. Can you see the wrinkles? Lord Jesus, help me. Okay, I don't do the hand holding thing. I do the tripod thing. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to knock off of this session so I can get my orientation back, because I don't know what the hell is going on. I'm going to fix the orientation and then restart so I can do the final parts, because I do have some more accountability good to share with you guys before I knock out for today. Okay, so let me finish this one. I'm going to hit finish. And then I'm going to do part 2 on Do These Accountability Web Class, if that's good for you. I know that you guys are seeing the screen regular, but right now I'm in portrait mode and I need to be in landscape. And I don't know, I'm going to just make sure that I wrap it up and then come back in. Okay, so if you guys are good with that, let me hit finish, come back in for part 2 of this conversation. Mwah. Again, feel free to share and come back and join me again live. See you in a minute. Bye.